Hey everybody, David Essel here. So I want to talk tonight about happiness. Very often we have people that are contacting me, matter of fact, for the past 30 years that are not happy, that are struggling, that are frustrated, and some haven't been happy for the longest period of time. What is it that creates happiness within inside you? Do you ever think about it? Do you just like slow yourself down and say, man, when I'm happiest, I'm doing A, B, C, D, E? I know for myself, one of the things that makes me incredibly happy is rescuing dogs. Absolutely. That brings so much joy into my life. Gardening brings so much joy into my life. Music brings so much joy. Being in my pool brings so much joy, right? The beach brings so much joy. How about you? What do you do on a regular basis that creates happiness, and how can we get into the habit of creating more happiness on a regular basis? Debbie, I want to welcome you. I want you guys to think about it from a perspective that's bigger than ourselves. In other words, a lot of people say, well, you can't be happy all the time. I agree with that 100%. But I also know that you can be a heck of a lot happier than most of us are. When we look on social media, we see people all the time with their best happy face. I do it. Their happiest faces, your greatest body shots, or there you are having your cocktail. Everything is great, right? But then behind the scenes, there's a lot of us that aren't that happy, aren't doing what we want to do. So I'm going to give you 2 ideas today to help you create more happiness. Lisa, welcome. Glad that you're with us. And those 2 ideas begin. Number 1 is remove. Number 2 is add. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? But here's the key to happiness that we've found over the past 40 years of working in this industry is that we have to remove the blocks to happiness first. In other words, a lot of people go, oh, well, I remember when I was 12 years of age and I was happiest when I was playing guitar or practicing piano or playing the saxophone. So I'm just going to pick it up and play again. But if you don't have the space and time to be able to create that happiness, then it's not going to happen. You'll play guitar or piano, you take a couple lessons, you go, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, right? So number 1, remove. Remove those things that are blocking your happiness. Remove the time wasters. Remove those all the time on social media. I know I'm on social media telling you to remove the time from social media. Isn't that awesome? Oh my God. I want you to remove the people from your life that are conspiracy theorists, negative, gossipers. Now, you might say that, oh, that's everyone. That's everyone that I hang out with. If you can't remove them or you don't want to remove them, at least cut the time in half, right? Say, listen, I can't be spending all this time at the bar with you. I can't spend all this time on the phone or texting with you as you complain about the world. I need space to do really great stuff. So the very first thing we need to do is remove to create more happiness. Maybe it's removing alcohol. Maybe it's removing nicotine. Maybe we have an addiction to food. Maybe we have to remove an addiction to spending. Maybe we've got to remove, what do we need to remove, right? Step 1, remove to be happier. Tim is here. When I am at peace in my relationship with God, Jesus, okay, so he's happiest when he's working that spiritual path or working that religious path. I love it. Right? What about you? Where's your happy place? Where's that space and time? But listen, I'm going to go back to step 1. We want to remove those distractions that are getting in the way of you having the time to be happier. That's not the easiest thing in the world. Let's say that you've been hanging around with 10 people. Let's say 5 of them are gossipers, conspiracy theorists, always complaining, victims, etc. But you've been hanging around with them for 20 years. That's going to be hard to remove them or to cut their time in half, but it has to be done. When I used to drink, Deidre, welcome. I used to drink alcohol on a daily basis. And I would tell people I was happy. And if you saw me, well, I don't even think there was social media back then, but if you saw me out, oh God, David Essel was always super happy. But my real true happiness came and stayed when I removed alcohol first. A lot of us make that mistake of adding without slowing down and saying, do I really have time for this? And if I don't have time to bring in something that brings me a lot of happiness, what do I have to remove in order to have more time? I got a great story for you. So a number of years ago, I worked with a woman, single mom, 2 kids. She worked 60 hours a week. So she contacted me and she said, David, I have no joy in my life. I have no happiness. You have to be a miracle worker if anything's going to change with me. And I said, why? Why a miracle worker? She goes, oh, I've worked with counselors before. Nothing's ever changed. So the very first thing we did was we had her do a time recall sheet. And you may want to take this tip and use it, where for 7 days, she wrote down everything that she did and the exact amount of time she did it, right? So she would say that I'm, cooking dinner for 30 minutes and I'm doing this. And then all of a sudden we found what we were looking for, because she kept saying, I have no time to do anything for myself. I have to pick up the girls from the babysitter or daycare after work. We rush home. I feed them. We do their homework. I get them bathed. I put them in bed. There's no time for happiness. But what she did next showed us that she had a lot of time. 3 hours every evening from 9 to midnight, she was watching television as her reward for her exhaustion. A lot of us do it, right? So we removed the television completely. Now she's got 3 hours. She didn't know what to do with it. However, because she had told me that when she was younger, she loved the piano, but she had no time for it. Now we had 3 hours. Over the course of our work together, she got a piano, started playing, went into a side bedroom, put towels underneath the door so it wouldn't wake up her children at work, and her whole life radically changed. She had to remove first the television, and then she brought in that thing that brought her happiness. So as I leave today, share this video, share it on all of your walls. Let people know there's a pathway to happiness. Number one, remove those things that are time wasters, how we procrastinate, how we waste time, television, radio, even social media. A lot of my clients, we put on a social media diet so that they had time to make more money, have a better relationship, get a better body, because they were spending too much time. A lot of people spend too much time on games. Other people spend way too much time on television. Other people, do you get it? Let's remove first, add second. Happiness is guaranteed if you follow this program. There's no one in the world that's ever followed the program of removing that wasting time stuff in order to add the joy. Is it just being out in nature? Is it playing a sport? Is it taking a hobby? I just got off the phone with a client. She's going through some very stressful times. She picked up dancing and she freaking loves it, right? It's her sacred space in her mind. So regardless of what it is, let's make sure those things that bring joy we're doing more of, and the time wasters we're doing less of. If I can help you at all, go to talkdavid.com or davidessel.com. It's the same website. Check out our books, our programs, lots of free stuff. And also, if you want to work one-on-one with me to find that space to remove those things that are holding you back in order to add more for joy, email me at talkdavid.com or davidessel.com. We work with people from all over the world via phone and Skype for 30 years. We're going to continue to do it for at least another 30. Have a beautiful night.